Imagine a relatively young man suddenly diagnosed with a tragic disease, finding out the rest of his life was being cut down to only a couple years. Would you consider this person to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth? This is what a man by the name of Lou Gehrig considered himself to be after being diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS. Many people have heard his name but do not know who he was or the many accomplishments he made in his short lifespan. I came across the disease while doing a paper on ALS. I had heard the name Lou Gehrig before but never knew why. While studying the disease, I read about all of his accomplishments, and I couldn't believe that after everything he was able to do in his lifetime, he was ultimately known for the disease that ended his life. There's a lot to Lou Gehrig most people don't know about. These include his difficult upbringing, his successful baseball career and his many accomplishments, and the disease that took his life. I asked the audience if they knew what team Lou Gehrig played for, and if so, what position did he play? The majority of people didn't even know he had played baseball. I also asked the audience what Lou Gehrig is currently most known for. One person knew it had something to do with his health, and another person knew of Lou Gehrig's disease, but did not know any of the details of the disease. These are the two parts of Lou Gehrig's life that I hope to provide further information. Lou Gehrig was born June 19, 1903, in Manhattan to German immigrants. His father, Heinrich, was a sheet metal worker, but was frequently unemployed due to alcoholism. His mother, Christina, worked as a maid and was the main breadwinner of the family. Lou Gehrig was born second of 4 siblings. His 2 sisters and brother all died at a young age due to sickness. While growing up in New York, Lou Gehrig was able to excel in both football and baseball. He eventually went to Columbia University on a football scholarship, showing great skill while playing fullback, all the while continuing his passion for baseball. During his second year at Columbia, he started playing first baseman and pitcher and was eventually noticed by a New York Yankee scout and signed a contract with him and left Columbia shortly after. Lou Gehrig's career with the New York Yankees started midway through the 1923 season. His first few years he saw limited playtime. In 1927, he had his breakout season where he had one of the greatest seasons of any batter in history and was named League MVP. Although he played in the shadow of Babe Ruth for the majority of his career and trailed Babe Ruth in home runs, Gehrig led Ruth in both RBIs and batting averages. During his career, Gehrig was known for his durability, playing 2,130 consecutive games from 1925 until 1939, a record that stood for 56 years. He played through sickness and several undisclosed fractures, earning him the nickname the Iron Horse. In the 17 years Gehrig played for professional baseball for the New York Yankees, he was a 7-time All-Star, a 6-time World Series champion. He was named Most Valuable Player twice, and he won the Triple Crown. Midway through the 1938 season, he started noticing he wasn't feeling quite himself physically. He was quoted at the end of the season saying, "I tired mid-season. I don't know why, but I just couldn't get it going again." In the 1939 season, fans began noticing Gehrig's physical decline. Shortly into the season, to the shock of fans, umpires, coaches, and fellow teammates, Lou Gehrig took himself out of the starting lineup. He remained with the team the rest of the season as team captain, but he would never play a major league game again. On his 36th birthday, Lou Gehrig was diagnosed with ALS, a disease with no known cause or cure. This disease slowly destroys the motor functions of the central nervous system, leading to rapidly increasing paralysis and difficulty in swallowing and speaking, with a life expectancy of 3 to 5 years. A few weeks later, on July 4, 1939, proclaimed Lou Gehrig Appreciation Day. At Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees announced Gehrig's retirement. Ceremonies were held in his honor. Gehrig was presented with multiple gifts, and the Yankees retired his number 4, making him the first player in Major League history to have his number retired. At the end of the ceremony, Gehrig addressed the crowd, during which he stated, quote, Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth." End quote. Many people have heard the name Lou Gehrig, but do not know who he was or the many accomplishments he made. Even in his short lifespan, he was able to prosper through his difficult upbringing, had a long and successful baseball career with many great accomplishments, and brought attention to a terrible disease. If you were suddenly diagnosed with a disease like ALS, would you be able to consider yourself to be a lucky person?